Let's continue by reading in Galatians chapter 4, verses 12 through 16, as Paul continues in his letter, writing to the Galatians because of their departure from the truth. As he writes this, "Brothers, I entreat you, become as I am, for I also have become as you are. You did me no wrong. You know it was because of a bodily ailment that I preached the gospel to you at first. And though my condition was a trial to you, you did not scorn or despise me, but received me as an angel of God, as Christ Jesus. What then has become of your blessedness? For I testify to you that if possible, you would have gouged out your eyes and given them to me. Have I then become your enemy by telling you the truth?" I believe that many parishioners have no clue about the true heart of the pastor. Early on in my calling to the pastorate, I remember a young couple. I spent a lot of time with this couple and poured into their lives. I cared about them just as I cared for all in the congregation. They responded to my sermons and instructions with what I considered to be the heartfelt obedience. Then one time I preached a hard sermon dealing with devotion to Jesus. It was hard, and perhaps I did not use enough tact, but it was true. Well, a day later, I received a scathing email from the same couple, and frankly, I was deeply hurt by their words. All I was trying to do was preach the truth. But it so happened that I was teaching an extension seminary at the same time, and that Monday evening, I met with the extension dean's his wife, and the dean was a pastor who served part-time with the extension. I mentioned to his wife about this email that I received, and she stated, "Oh, my husband has a full drawer of the same type of letters." That kind of encouraged me a bit. Over the years now, I've accumulated many other letters of my own, similar types of letters. And what have I learned from all this? First, that pastors have emotions too. Many feel that we're ironclad supermen, but we're not. We love our people and only want the best for them. Sometimes this means preaching difficult things. We have no intention of hurting people, but we do sometimes step on toes in an effort to get the truth out and really challenge people to do things in life differently. But second, I learned how fickle relationships can be in the church. Sometimes the people who you pour into the most and pour the most love into will be the same ones who will turn on you. When they do, the pain is real. A mentor of mine once said that this about the pastoral ministry. He said a pastor must have the heart of a lamb and the skin of a rhinoceros. I'm not sure what Paul's real emotional state was in dealing with the Galatians. Yet we have a hint here. He had a close bond with the church. He went to them when he was in some sort of physical distress, likely an illness. Yet he worked through the illness to give them the truth, and they received it. They not only received the message, but had built a close relationship with Paul, one in which Paul felt that they would have even plucked out their own eyes and given them to Paul if necessary. Yet something changed as evidenced by their departure from Paul's message of salvation by grace through faith. As a result of their departure from this truth, Paul felt as if they had become enemies in some way. See his words on this. Let me read it to you, verses 15 and 16 again. "What then has become of your blessedness? For I testify to you that if possible, you would have gouged out your eyes and given them to me. Have I then become your enemy by telling you the truth?" The point is this. Paul wanted nothing more than the best for the Galatians. He loved them and poured out his heart for them. However, now their departure from the truth he preached to them was kind of like a dagger in the heart, and thus he implored them to return to the very truth that he had preached at first. Paul had the heart of a pastor. It behooves all of us to realize that our pastors, the ones that preach the truth, do so for our good. It is because they love us and have an obligation to the Lord to shepherd the flock. They are to do this from a heart of love for the parishioners and not of a necessity for monetary gain or as an occupation. In many cases, they actually sacrifice for the sake of the people. Remember that they are just humans, just like us. They also are not perfect. They will on occasion misstate things or present truth in a harsh and perhaps non-tactful way. But let us be understanding. Remember that they are emotional beings just like us. And let us always respond to their love with love ourselves.